Hi, I'm Eugenia, a watercolor artist. Almost a year ago, I started sharing my videos here on YouTube. If you've been following me, this is the first time you are seeing me talking to you directly. As an introvert, it took me quite a while to find courage to make a talking video, but I feel it's time to share my story, not just my art, my thoughts and my observations, but also what is behind my work. Why do I do what I do? As I take you through my story, you will get to watch the process of one of my watercolor paintings. So, enjoy! My story begins in Moldova, a small country nestled between Romania and Ukraine, where my childhood was filled with simple joys, collecting branches in the woods, helping in my grandparents' garden, reading under trees on lazy summer afternoons. Growing up speaking both Romanian and Russian, I learned early on that beauty can exist in different forms. I discovered how different languages paint emotions in their own unique colors, and how some emotions could only find their voice in one language, but not the other. Art wasn't something I discovered. It was always there. At home, I watched my father in his workshop, working on his wood sculptures. That creative chaos of wood shavings and paint splatters felt magical to me. It felt like a calm and safe space. 3 afternoons each week, I'd sit at a wooden easel in the children's art school, breathing in the scent of paint and wet clay, listening to my teacher talk passionately about light and shadow. But life has a way of leading us down unexpected paths. When it was time to choose a career, I faced a difficult decision. The economic situation in my home country was uncertain, and my parents encouraged me to choose something safer than art. Their belief was that I could always paint, but I needed a safer profession. I chose to study philology and was trained to become a teacher at the State University of Moldova. At first, it felt like a good compromise. I've always loved books and enjoyed learning about language and philosophy. I spent countless hours in the library, diving into both novels and research on language acquisition and how the mind works. But when I finally finished the university and started teaching, I realized I wasn't happy. I had an opportunity to pursue a master's degree in Germany. Only a few months into my teaching career, I left my country to study literary and cultural studies in Cologne. It was challenging in ways I hadn't expected, figuring out everything on my own, navigating a different culture, learning a foreign language, adapting to a new system. I made mistakes, misunderstood instructions, and carried the emotional weight of immigration. During those years, art took a backseat. I was in survival mode. My parents dreamt of an academic career for me. I pushed forward into a PhD program, following the path others had laid out. For years, I read what was expected of me. I felt certain dreams were meant to remain dreams, and that I would never be able to pursue an art career. But sometimes, the farther you go down the wrong path, the clearer it becomes that you need to turn around. The realization that I wanted to be an artist hit me like a wave, just a couple of months into my PhD program. This acknowledgement was terrifying. I felt like a failure. I had spent years studying, and now everything felt meaningless. I was questioning everything I thought I knew about myself. My old beliefs had become invisible walls, keeping me from embracing my identity as an artist. My subconscious mind was blocking me, and I knew I had to work on myself by changing my old belief system. Only gradually, I found my way back to art. First, through writing and illustrating a children's book. I, however, abandoned the project because of insecurities. I felt I wasn't good enough. I started giving watercolor illustration and lettering workshops. Though I was painting again, my path still felt uncertain. For so long, I had followed a path that others expected of me. Now that I had the freedom to choose, I didn't know what to do with all this freedom. I wasn't sure how to reposition myself in life. I thought my quest for meaning was doomed. But life has its own way of bringing us back to our true path. My husband, a designer himself, always encouraged me to pursue my creative dreams and to continue painting. He was and still is my biggest supporter. We've become parents, and through motherhood, I learned to pause, to observe, to see the beauty in the mundane moments, and to be gentler with myself. I started practicing positive self-talk because I genuinely wanted to change, not only for myself, but for my children and the people around me. Watching my children learn from my example made me realize the power of our inherited beliefs. I wanted to break the cycle, to show them that it's never too late to pursue your dreams. This realization pushed me to work intensely on my mental and emotional well-being, to begin reprogramming the limiting beliefs I'd carried for so long. After the pandemic, we embarked on a new adventure. We sold almost all of our belongings and moved to Fethiye with a couple of suitcases, mainly filled with books and toys. We lived by the sea, and I spent countless hours observing the water, the shimmering light, the reflections of the boats, the calmness of the water, and the ever-changing nature of the waves became my inspiration. It was during this time that my work began to transition from illustration to fine art. My fascination with light and water reflections became a central theme to my work. In June, we moved back to Cologne. Now, as I sit here at my desk, I find myself in a new chapter. This is where I paint, where I think and dream, where I'm learning and sharing my journey with you. For years, art was something personal, something I created in solitude. But now I've started to share not just the final artwork, but also the quiet moments that inspire my paintings, the thoughts that shape them, the emotions that guide my brush. There wasn't one big moment that pushed me to start this YouTube channel. I love art, and I realized I wanted to take what I love and turn it into something others could find meaning in. I invite you to see beyond the finished paintings and understand the stories, the struggles, and transformations that shape each piece. This channel is a space where I share my art and what's behind my artworks. I plan to share art tutorials, vlogs, process videos, book reviews, but also explore the deeper connection between art, literature, and emotional well-being. What fascinates me are the stories that shape artists, the books that inspire them, the experiences that guide their choices, and the thoughts behind their creative decisions. These are the conversations I want to have here as we explore art. So here I am, sharing my story. Not because I have everything figured out, but because I believe in personal growth and in the beauty of the journey. I hope you found something meaningful in what I've shared. If something in my story resonates with you, I would love to hear about this in the comments. Please consider subscribing if you would love to be part of this creative space. Thank you for watching. I'm Eugenia, and I will see you in the next video.